coming up to the line, being chased, and it was Braden Johnson. Unbelievable finish. It was 1/1000th of a second between them.
Green flag in the air. We are racing in the 2020 24 Hours of Daytona.
They go door to door for the feature race lead here on the last lap of the race. Side by side for the race lead in the final corner at Homestead.
Down the back straightaway, 3 wide again for the race lead. This is unbelievable stuff here tonight.
Aloma is going to have to be very deep on the brakes, and he is very deep on the brakes. It's side by side through the corner. This is for the win.
It'll be side by side. Davies low, Ottinger high. To the very inside is Garrett low. 4 wide at the stripe. For all he's win here on this outside line, neck and neck. Who's gonna back out? Does anyone back out? Verstappen starts to squeeze on the inside, and now he'll try and straight line it. Goes under the apron, drag race to the line. It's so close to call. The Windy City, home of the Chicagoland Speedway and host to race 14 of the LWRC NASCAR Cup Series, live here on the KB Bueno Racing Network. Glad to have you join the action for tonight on the continuation of the second half of this season. And of course, we're going to be having a lot of fun here at the Windy City and Chicagoland Speedway. Hello everybody, Kenneth Bueno on hand, solo for tonight, but nonetheless going to give you all the action for today's coverage of the LWC NASCAR Cup Series. It has been 13 races already through this season, 12 if you're counting the halfway point of the season, and then to the All-Star race. I went to Kansas just a couple of weeks back. Now we're here at Chicagoland and back on the KB Bueno Racing Network for coverage, and of course, always happy to have you with us. Of course, before we get to everything, there's still qualifying on the track at the moment. So right now, we're going to take a look at your points graphic and see exactly where everybody stands in terms of the point standings. And here is what they look like after this first half. Cole Williams continues to lead these point standings. He's had an outstanding season, a very consistent. Aiden Kirker, his fellow teammate, are right behind him, and Brady Wheelerman just 40 points shy of Aiden Kirker for second. Eli Quinn to fourth, Dylan Basin at fifth, Brianna Lavin to sixth, Josh Duke seventh, Jaden Lawson at eighth, 211 points. Hunter Ellis, Blaze McKinney will be the final drivers within this top 10. So always new things to look out for, especially since we're back on a mile and a half, and we've already had our shot at those mile and a halves. We saw the Charlotte race, of course, the Kansas race of just last week, and now back to the Chicagoland Speedway for tonight's action. You're seeing the qualifying has just about ended, and it's just ticked down to 0, so that means all the drivers are going to be down there on the grid, and we're going to take a look and see where everyone will be starting at the top of tonight's race. And we're going to get everybody at least down to start front straightaway at least, and you can see all the drivers there, and we're going to start getting to your starting grid. Starting on the pole will be the 42 of Cole Williams. It'll be right alongside the 59 of Parker White, who's going to be starting right alongside. And you're going to look to row 2, where you'll find Aiden Kirker in the 39. Two of those drivers in row 1 and 2, both being the leaders in points. And right to his outside, the driver right there at least, Colton Zimmer. He's going to be there as well within this field. And looking a little bit back, Quentin Warman, in one of his first starts in this series, will start in the inside of row 3. Right to his outside, fellow KB Bueno Racing Network commentator and analyst, Kelan Belsha. Always happy to see him on track. Down to row 4, Josh Patterson in the 02 will start 7th, and Dylan Basin will be out in 8th. And then right to row number 5 in the top 10, Josh Duke will be in the 32 tonight, and Brianna Lavin will start in the 71 on the outside. And then Brady Wheelerman will start 11th. Thomas Lloyd will be starting 12th. This is out for row 6. Row number 7 will be all the way to Jesse Martinez in the 05 and Shane D. Mantova in the 20. You'll round out the top 14. And then Lane Stevens in the 92, starting in 15, starting 16th. Jaden Lawson, the league owner himself. He'll start a little bit further back in the field, but nonetheless, still a long race to go to. And James Youngman will start 17th. Richard Mandonka will be 18th, and this will be the row number 9. And that'll pretty much sum up your entire grid for tonight's action here at Chicagoland Speedway. Already getting everything warmed up, and you see all the cars now starting to roll off the grid, at least through the front straightaway. The pace car will lead them into 1 and 2. A little bit of information about this track before we get going. It's a 1.5 mile oval, of course, here located in Joliet, Illinois. Now there's a track graphic on your screen. 1.53 miles around this racetrack, 4 turns, 662 feet of elevation. Track temp at 71 degrees, so it's pretty cool outside on the track. And also with the sunset setting, it's going to be fairly easy for the drivers to find some grip as the sun starts to go down and the track starts to cool. And located down in Joliet, USA, the United States of America. Weather looks in like this, so just about 69 degrees in the air temp, a wind to the southwest at 2.3 miles per hour, humidity at 0%, fog at 0% as well. Our conditions are looking partly cloudy for tonight's action here at Chicagoland Speedway. We've got the entire grid filed behind Cole Williams and Parker White. The pace car will dip down, and we will take the green flag for the first time here tonight at the Windy City. Williams and Parker White will lead the field to the green flag. Cole Williams will lead lap 1 on a phenomenal lead out to the front, but it's not going to last too long as Parker White went out, looked to the inside. He's going to try to take the position away. This was already quickly, and you see how much this high downforce packages really affect these cars. We've got a yellow round to the back of the field. We're going to take a look and see who that might have been. Going to take a look a little bit further back at a huge wreck actually here. This is Dylan Mason and the 8 Lane Stevens involved. James Youngman also involved. See the 92 there. Shane D. Mantova also had a piece of that as well. The 19 also might have had something there along the lines. Actually, that's the 09 of Colton Zimmer. Huge wreck here on lap number 2. At least coming to lap number 2 after the conclusion of lap number 1. We're going to take a replay and see exactly what happened here. This is starting with... And look at James Youngman here. This is just a while back, and actually the wreck happens in front of them. That is Dylan Basin. A huge wreck actually started here through the front. There were some of the guys a little bit further up ahead. There's Colton Zimmer, Dylan Basin involved. Boy, huge wreck here on the back straightaway. And here's an extra look. This is Brady Weileman in the 51. This is coming into turn 1 and 2. This wreck happened down the back straightaway. Taking extra nose and actually started right there with the Basin Racing guys. And then Brady Weileman just stuck all in there. Really had nowhere to go. Lots of drivers getting involved. Brady had heavy damage from that. The 05 was able to get by. The 46 was also able to skip through. 77 also came by. That's exactly what has happened down there. Pretty much everyone down pit road, though. And a huge incident on lap number 3 of the 60 scheduled to run here tonight. We had a pass for the race lead, though. As soon as that yellow came out, we saw Parker White dip to the inside of the 42 of Cole Williams, and he was your pole sitter, the 42. So he will drip down a second. He'll most likely start on the outside of row 1, along with his fellow teammate down to the inside of row number 2. And speaking of Cole Williams in that number 42, he is our in-race reporter for tonight's action. So we're going to bring him in, see exactly what his thoughts are, especially going early in this race. First of all, Cole, welcome to the KBRN booth. You got a copy with us, first of all?
Yes, sir.
All right, Cole. Well, I just saw the chaos that happened around lap 1. You led that lap. You just got passed by Parker White, but you saw that chaos right behind you. Just initially, just tell us your thoughts about what you're expecting going into this race, and especially since you're the points leader, what kind of tactics you're going to use up your sleeve to try and have a good race here tonight and keep yourself clean.
Yeah, I think Parker was running this stuff off. I don't really know what happened behind us. Saw my mirror, everyone was going crazy, and Shane was saying that they were all wrecking. So it's unfortunate. I think Lane had to use his fast repair right there, but yeah, I'm just saving my stuff. We're definitely saving a bit of fuel right here. It's gonna be close, but just saving your tires and really saving maybe a little bit of fuel at the end. You might see that. You might see me right now pushing the clutch and turn it off. You go to my main car, but yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Just I'm hoping that based on the way Parker's running that bottom, that he was running his stuff off pretty good. So I just kind of let him go, and then of course the caution had to come out right after he passed me. So, but we'll see how this goes.
Well, Cole, we're you're going to take the green flag alongside Parker White, so we're going to wish you luck, and we're going to let you go and talk with your fellow teammates and everybody else there. So we wish you luck throughout the rest of this race, and hopefully a long green flag run comes out of it.
Yes, sir. All right, see ya.
Cole Williams out of the booth. He is your in-race reporter. Going to try and check in with him a couple of times tonight and see exactly what his thoughts are, especially coming through this race and knowing that he's starting on the front row, maybe to a longer green flag run. We'll just have to see. However, Parker White will be the one leading this field with Cole Williams to his outside. Parker White was a winner in his first start at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Seems to be notable on the 1.5 miles, and we take the green flag once again. Not as good of a jump with the leader, though. Seems as though everybody else follows suit correctly. Cole Williams will now have a peek to the inside. It's going to be his teammate. Aiden Kirker now going to look to the inside of turn 1 and 2 in that 39 Chevrolet Camaro. The 77 of Thomas Lloyd will also follow suit. And you'll see the long line of drivers all the way down to the inside. And with this high downforce package, it is relatively easy to stay within draft of your fellow drivers around you. You had a little bit of a close-up there, almost an incident there between Brianna Lavin and the guys right up in front. That 71 almost had contact. Cole Williams will fall back to the top 5 and the 5th, as everyone will remain single file for the most part. Now Aiden's going to look to the high side of the 95 of Parker White. Here comes Thomas Lloyd at the bottom to help out. Still clean through 3 and 4, and Aiden, I think with that top side, did not work out to his favor in this short run, because he's going to fall back at least to the drivers down to the bottom. Most notably Thomas Lloyd, the 71 of Brianna Lavin are going to peak to the low side, and the 77 Thomas Lloyd, one of the Basin Racing cars of one of the emerging teams that came into this series in the LWRC NASCAR Cup Series, was part of this large collection of Basin Racing cars, including that 71 right behind him in that Ford Mustang. A couple of those drivers have raced a couple of these races in this series. Some of them new, most notably, obviously, Thomas Lloyd, Colton Zimmer being new to this race as well, the 09. The 07 there as well. Dylan Basin has been part of the series for a while now, but he's starting to make his starts at least more frequently within his teammates. And look how tight that gets. It's just about a 5-car break and a 5-car group here between Parker White and the other 4 drivers right behind. They go 2 by 2 into 3 and 4. Everyone all together here. See how much they're sticking together in this short run. We've only got a couple of laps down on these tires, and we're slowly going to see the tires start to fall off, and we're going to see the drivers start to separate a little more, which is kind of what we saw at the iRacing Bunch and Lawn Care Series race at this exact venue. Of course, a very different setting of the day. We ran at the nighttime. It was mostly the sunset into the nighttime, but at least with this race and a shorter race here, a more of a sprint with 60 laps, I think it's going to be a little more apparent as the track is still relatively warm, as opposed to when it gets cooled down in the nighttime and when the lights start to flicker on and you see the track temps start to cool down as soon as the night progresses. But with the sunset setting at the moment, it's going to be a little tough for these drivers to find some grip. Only through about 1 and 2 though, because you could see the sun as they're slowly getting around this racetrack. You're going to see the onboard with Aiden Kirker. This is going into turn 1. You can see just a little bit of the shade, and then the sunlight starts to peek in, especially off the corner. Lots of drivers can lose some grip there. Cars can get very squirrely, and we might see a lot of the incidents happen just like we saw on lap 1. Then going into 3 and 4, there's that little piece of shade to go into 3 and 4. It's going to help you out with some of the grip as the sun's not so directly on the racetrack, and it's a little bit cooler where you can find some of that grip. We're going to see a lot of drivers start to adapt to that, most notably, but at the moment, still 3-car train now. It was just about 5 cars just a couple laps earlier, but now it's broken up to 3 between Parker White, Aiden Kirker, and the 8 of Dylan Basin. But how about Josh Patterson in the 0-2 picking up through all these spots as every driver was fighting for position up here. Now going to look into the top 5 for the first time tonight. Battle for the lead is brewing between first place, that is Parker White, and the 39 of Aiden Kirker. They are still even in turn 1 and 2. But look who's going to split the middle there. Dylan Basin in the 8 machine is going to look to the middle. We're going to see if that works. Parker's going to have to swoop all the way to the wall, and that is not going to work between any of those drivers. It's going to stay relatively tight as they're all fan in together. Now Cole Williams will join the party. Brady Weileman as well. Brianna Lavin, it is tight. They're going to get in contact. Brianna Lavin's around in the 71. She is hard hit into the outside wall for the 71. Hard collection there. Lots of drivers in that mix. And a huge wreck on lap 15 to bring out the yellow once more on the second time tonight. I'm going to take a replay and see exactly what might have gone down. And this is going into turn 1. You can see how tight everyone was. There's Brady Weileman, 42 of Cole Williams, hard into the outside wall. 42 of Cole Williams also had a piece of that. Don't think anyone else got by with at least some major damage there. But I saw Brady Weileman did get involved in that. I think he remained relatively unscathed, actually. You see his camera there. You can see just in the middle there, really had nowhere to go. And just stuck within that group. And this is how it all started, though. This is coming down into turn 1. You can see how much they fan out through the apron. There's Parker White. There's Cole Williams. You see Brady Weileman just sneak through the middle. Right there, nowhere to go. It gets tight. And then right there, that's what his view was. Coming out to turn number 1 and 2. Luckily, he escapes with no damage now. But meanwhile, we're going to see everyone down pit road, including the likes of Aiden Kirker. They're going to head down pit road all as well. You see everyone now going to start to file in. It is Kirker, Patterson, Basin, Parker White. Now in this group, just about 4 drivers. Brady Weiland will also join. Quentin Warman there as well. Thomas Lloyd. Practically everyone on this lead lap, apart from Shane D. Mantova, will stay out. So everyone will be down pit road this time by. You take a look at every single driver. There's Cole Williams, who's now later, due to that incident, hard damage. Probably going to look at a faster pair, and you see how close it is. But look who's going to come out first. Jesse Martinez in the 05 will get out first ahead of all of these drivers. And it'll be after Parker White. Aiden Kirker will take the spot away. Dylan Basin was not able to get the best of Parker White. Shane D. Mantova will be the one staying out. Jaden Lawson will be one of the drivers on the lead lap now. Just getting that lucky dog, getting the wave around at the moment. First pit cycle has now just about begun, and we are ready to continue our action. We're just going to take a short break. You're watching the LWRC NASCAR Cup Series from the Chicagoland Speedway. Welcome back to the Windy City in the Chicagoland Speedway, where we have gone 18 laps, so some under the green flag and our 2 yellows that have come out usually on lap number 2 and lap number 15. Shane DiMantovo will be at the head of this field. He stayed out on the pit cycle as everyone went down. The 05 will be right alongside, and Jesse Martinez. Those two will find out row number 1 between those two on the starting grid on this restart. Just a quick reminder that LWRC coverage on the KBRN Racing Network is brought to you by Apella Gaming. Apella Gaming is an e-commerce retailer of quality gaming accessories for Microsoft Xbox, Sony PlayStation, and a variety of Nintendo consoles. You can check out all of their gear on their website, which goes up on October 1st, 2020. That's ApellaGaming.com. So while we're under this run, we're going to take our green flag and possibly get a longer stint. We just about had, I'd say, 8 to 10 laps of green flag racing before that large yellow came out between Brianna Lavin, the 51 of Brady Weileman, and the 42 of Cole Williams. Cole obviously got the worst of that. He will start all the way back in 13th. And meanwhile, Brianna Lavin will start in 15th. Brady Weileman will be 14th, 13th, 14th, 15th, which will be the placement of all of those drivers coming to the green flag. Shane DiMantovo, it'll be interesting to see if he's going to fall off with those tires, and especially since he did stay out. However, he did get that fast repair from that first incident, so we'll just have to see how that develops. The green flag is back in the air. We're going to take the green flag at the moment at the front straightaway. Shane will leave them all down. Aiden Kirker, though, with a huge jump going into turn 1. Clean through 1 and 2. Everyone's going to fan out to the back straightaway. Aiden Kirker had tried to make a look to the outside, but it really wasn't that great. Jesse Martinez also had a little bit of a squiggle there between Dylan Basin and Parker White. They're going to go 3 wide down the apron on the front straightaway. Not sure if there's enough space there, but they're going to stick together for now. Parker's going to have to hit the reset button and try it one more time to get around, as they are very, very tight. As there's the 95 of Parker White getting very loose to the bottom. No harm, no foul, though. He will keep everything straight and will stay green flag racing at the moment, as Aiden Kirker will look to the high side. Dylan Basin now looking to the inside. 3 wide for the race lead. Dylan Basin, your new race leader. Shane DiMantovo has to fall back to about 3rd, now 4th, 5th, maybe, as he's 3 wide between Josh Patterson and Parker White. But now Dylan Basin's going to have a shot from the 39 of Aiden Kirker. He's going to dip back to the race lead as they'll single file out of turn 4. Still side by side between the two, as Basin actually had a run to the outside. Parker White, that we saw, had a little bit of a squiggle down the back straightaway. He now forms himself back up, is able to bring that momentum all the way back to the top 5 and the front of this field. Patterson, though, will look to the inside of his fellow teammate. He will look all the way by himself, and he will be able to clear for 3rd. Going to try to pounce on that 95 to the outside. And what I've really seen, at least through this early run, I see the outside fairly working in this early run. When drivers have those fresh tires for the time being and they're able to have that grip, at least early in that run within first 5-10 laps or so, you're seeing a lot of these drivers hang to the outside and they're able to stick. Not exactly gain as much momentum as they would with the drivers on the inside, but they're able to stick there and they're able to get some of the run off the corners in order to stick in on the sides or on the door of the driver to the inside. You see now an example with Josh Patterson. Not as much running, though. You see how much the inside works better, though, but then you can see how much he hangs off the corner. He's able to stay with Parker White and Dylan Basin, as Dylan Basin will look 3 wide for the race lead once again. Boy, this is great racing up front. Basin, I don't think he's got the run. Going to tap the apron just a little bit. Will allow Parker White to get back by. And we're still green on lap number 26 with the 95 at the head of this field. you look at that, very, very close. Patterson almost had contact, I believe, with Dylan Basin or the 39 of Kirker. Very close to see. They were all relatively within each other's grasp. And now Basin side by side with your race leader. 8, 95, 39, and 02 in this 4-car train. But don't look now. Brady Weilerman in that 51 has came back from that incident. He has worked all the way up to the top 5, and he might have something to say, or at least to try and spoil the party for the time being. Sporting that new 5 guys Chevrolet Camaro. Saw him run a little bit of a different schemes, at least through this entire season. It was mostly that stripe design on the roof that you see, and that white base colors. He's almost around. He's going to try to save it, and he does. Contact there between the drivers down the front straightaway. Luckily, no yellow, but he's going to fall all the way back to the tail end of this field. And we're going to look back up front between the top 2 leaders. It is still a fight to pick between all 3 of these main drivers and all 3 manufacturers. Aiden Kirker, Basin, and Parker White. Josh Patterson kind of hanging in, just kind of on the outside looking in for now, trying to analyze what they are doing. But at the line, it's going to be Aiden Kirker still side by side all the way down for second. I think it might be a poor time to mention this, although we're seeing this very, very large battle. But if you are in the YouTube chat, you're watching this stream, you're enjoying the race, you can join the conversation with me up in the booth by using hashtag AskKBRN. I was going to mention this under the first yellow, did not really have enough time, but nonetheless, if you want to join the conversation, just have your question followed by hashtag AskKBRN. We'll be sure to answer it just as soon as you send it down in the YouTube chat. Kind of a way for us to interact with the people watching and make sure that even though the race might not be as enticing at the moment, we can still provide some nice conversation along the way and be able to answer some questions, at least either about the race, about any interests, common interests, anything about our broadcasting at the K1 Racing Network, or anything in general. We've had a lot of questions thrown at us over the past couple of months when we had KBRN, and it's been always a lot of fun to answer those questions nonetheless. But if you probably not are paying attention to what I was just talking about, you're probably paying attention to the battle on the racetrack right now, because it is not given up between this top 3. Aiden Kirker, Dylan Basin, and Parker White. Got to give them props for the amount of cleanliness they've kept through this entire fight, and they've been all but clear of each other. They've all been side by side, at least somewhere on the racetrack. I think Parker White might have the advantage now, as getting just about the halfway portion of this race. And now that we're at the halfway portion of this race, kind of go through our KBRN through the field, kind of take a look at where everybody is. And we're going to start with that 95 of Parker White. Has already led 15 laps through this race. About half of this stint, about 30 laps, 32 laps. He's led a good portion of this race already, looking to capture his second LWRC NASCAR Cup Series win after taking his first at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. He's done a phenomenal job of keeping his lead so far and staying clean with all the drivers up front. I think he might have a good shot, and he is definitely one of the drivers to watch for as we progress through this race. New team, but really haven't lost their footing in Dylan Basin at Basin Racing. Started up his new team in the Ford Mustangs. He has a couple of those entries here tonight. He's now looking to the inside for the race seed, but Basin has had a different reputation here at LWRC. He's had a couple of appearances, but there have been some races where he has not shown up. But every time he has shown up on the racetrack, he has been relatively strong. I mentioned his win down at Texas Motor Speedway. He won 2 races in a row between Texas and Bristol, those 2 races, and he's done well in any other races, racking up top 5, top 10. Has had some memorable performances here in the LWRC NASCAR Cup Series. He's looking to take the lead, and he did right there over Parker White. So he is your new race leader. Going to try to pounce on and try to add on to the rest of the laps that he's had right now. So we got a caution on the racetrack. Going to break up our through the field. Going to take a look on who that might have been. And it's Brianna Lavin once again. We're going to take a replay and see exactly what happened between that 71. See exactly what might have went down. This is going down the front straightaway. This is the battle between her and the 71. There's the 05 right to the outside. That is Jesse Martinez. And they were relatively close. They're kind of pinching each other down the track. I see the 05. And they were still side by side at this time. And right there, I think the 71 just gets in to the 05, and then the 05 just trying to fishtail it back and try to save the race car. Goes around as a result, tags the 71, and the 71 is involved in the incident. on lap number 35. The back up front, though, it is all Dylan Basin, but it's not going to last for long as the rest of the field behind him will go down pit road. So Basin will lead them all down. Parker White, Josh Patterson, Colton Zimmer, Cole Williams within this top 5 as the caution came out, and the field has been frozen. We're going to take our second pit cycle of the evening. After the first pit cycle, under that second yellow, that first yellow had some drivers go down pit road, but it was most notably all the ones that had damage from that wreck. Josh Patterson just about missed his pit stall. And here is the entire field now getting their service. Azul's full at the moment. Basin will come out first. Parker White will come out to second. Cole Williams will be in third. Colton Zimmer fourth. Aiden Kirker will actually be in this top 5. So lots of changes, at least between the drivers third on back. Cole Williams, who entered the pits in the 5th position, will now come out of the pits in the 3rd position. So phenomenal job by his pit crew to have a great job of putting those tires and fuel on that car relatively quickly. He's going to be in 3rd, have another shot to get back up at this race lead where he once was at the beginning of this race before that incident with Brianna Lavin in the 71 and Brittany Weileman in the 51. So caution out once again at lap number 36, and looking through some of the drivers down in this field, Basin in the lead, Parker White to second, Cole Williams in 3rd, and Cole Williams has started on the pole tonight, has not really got back up, but he has that opportunity to now with that pit stop. A new member of Eel Media Racing, partnered with us here at the KBRN Racing Network. That team formed relatively recently, I'd say just about a couple of weeks ago, less than a month ago, that team was formed. Cole Williams and Aiden Kirker, those two were part of Going Low Racing, as well as Lane Stevens. Those all three merged with the Eel Media Racing team. So all those representing here tonight. Cole Williams sporting a different look here. A familiar look, but with a different sponsor. Usually has Coca-Cola on the top of that machine. And this time he chose the purple and orange for the Phoenix Suns tonight. And it has a couple of sponsors there. I can see Kelly Oubre, I believe, on that machine. A couple of other guys on there as well through the back bumper. He is with his teammate. There's Lane Stevens in the 92, sporting Eel Media Racing tonight. Also, one of the Eel Media Racing drivers is the 18 of Kelan Belsha, sporting the Appella Gaming colors that we just mentioned earlier in the broadcast through their website, coming out on October 1st. He's sporting a new paint scheme made by yours truly, not yours truly, Eli Commerford. He made it, and he is sporting that beautiful Toyota Camry here tonight. A couple other drivers sporting some very, very notable paint schemes. There's back to Lane Stevens. Lots of other drivers. Josh Duke sporting a Basin Racing car tonight. Brianna Lavin, though, beautiful paint scheme, but a very beat-up race car that she's been involved in 2 of the yellows already. There's Josh Patterson. He went all the way down to 16th. Not really sure what happened down his pit stop, maybe a penalty or some sort, but that Nova Sim Racing Ford Mustang is going to have some ground to pick up after through this restart, because he was up through the top 5 if you saw him kind of hanging with Parker White, Aiden Kirker, and Dylan Basin, as they were all but just about 3 wide for the race lead. They were all together. Patterson, though, going to have to work a little more to get back up to the front of this field, and it has been a lot of drivers to get by. Relatively large field tonight, just about, I'd say 17 drivers, or just about 18. And Richard Mendonça is the only one that hasn't really started. He's not on the racetrack. James Youngerman is currently the last driver, 9 laps down, sitting placed on this racetrack at the moment. So green flag is going to come out with just 21 laps remaining. This race has gone relatively quickly with a 60-lap stint. It's a very, very short race that we've had tonight. So we're going to see just how this forms out, especially if these drivers are going to know that there's not much time left to get a race win under their belt, or try something of the ordinary, or maybe out of the ordinary. We'll just have to see. Pace car is down. Basin will be at the front. Green flag is back out on a restart on lap number 39. 21 laps to go. We're going to see how this works from here on out. Dylan, though, with a good start. Just like I mentioned on that lap on the restart, Cole Williams has made his way back to the front. He had help from Parker White to the inside. He peeked his nose down there, and it was enough space to make that pass, and he's got the pass successfully made. But right now, he might have to look down to the inside where Parker White will be. Dylan Basin will also look relatively low. Not sure if there was enough space between them, but it seems as though it will be enough. 3 wide, though, for second place behind Parker White. Oh, look at Cole Williams all the way to the bottom. He's going to try to make something happen. I think he just clipped the apron. It's not going to work. He's going to fall back through the rest of this 5-car group. Parker White, though, still maintaining the lead. Basin holding on to the outside. But look who's joined the party. The 39 of Kirker and Brady Weileman in the 51. After getting very loose in that early stint that did not cause out the yellow, he lost a lot of ground as a matter of fact. And as a result, he's going to now work up to 4th. There's Aiden Kirker to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to try to make something to work in a 3. And you can just sense the amount of tension that is going on between these 6 drivers. Shane DiMantova is now in this group at the tail end, but he's going to be watching every single move from here on out. Josh Patterson also gained a lot of ground. Cole Williams is still out to 3 wide. Almost, I think he had to duck between Brady Weileman and Dylan Basin. But for the race lead, again, Aiden Kirker is back up front. And a caution out. Saw a couple of drivers. I think I heard something happen. And I look back a little further on. Don't really see much. Oh, and it's Cole Williams in the 42. How did we not see that happen? He went around here. We're going to take a look. Oh, and this is working through this main group as well. This is within this group. I did not see the train due to the camera angle. But here it is, nonetheless. This is down the front straightaway. Just washed up into the 20 of Shane DiMantova. Look how everybody had to scramble through there to make sure they didn't get involved. Cole Williams, though, with that fast repair, he already used it, so that damage is going to be there for that 42. You see him now just slowly trying to rejoin the racetrack, trying to turn his car back around and get it up to speed. So hard lick for that 42 machine. He's going to have a lot of work to do on that race car. So now with just 15 laps to go, we are under the yellow flag once more. And I think everyone's going to head down this pit cycle. So we'll try to get back in with our in-race reporter. That is Cole Williams. So we'll try to get back to him as soon as this pit cycle has now concluded. There goes Aiden Kirker down pit road. Everyone is down pit road along with Parker White, Brady Weileman, Dylan Basin, practically everyone on the lead lap. Going to take their shot at pit road. Don't think anyone stayed out. Cole Williams will be the last one in. James Youngman is already in there, but he is 16 laps down. So everyone will go down pit road. And everyone's just getting their tires and fuel. Pit lane is full.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just on the bottom, just trying to save my stuff, and I think Shane put me on the white line, then we made contact, and then got the white line again, and from there I was just along from the right. I locked it down to make sure I didn't wreck anyone else, and I think if I didn't do that, I would have wrecked other drivers, but if I wouldn't do that, I also would have not hit the wall, so I'm looking at my RPM right now, down 5, and I have some splitter damage, so with these carbs, my fighting chance for anything is probably over, so you know, I mean, the bonehead move at the start by the 51 that made it 4 wide and wrecked all of us for no reason. Now I'm out of fast repair, and then Shane I don't really know, not to watch it again, but I know we had a car contact for 0x, and I felt like I needed to exit the corner at some point, like I'm going right through here, and I'm just trying to exit, and then he just got me, and then from here I'm already along for the ride, locking it down, so just bad situation, and just sucky race to this point.
Well, you've got all that damage, but nonetheless, you are still in this race. So what are you going to try to do within these next 12 laps to try and secure something better out of this and maybe soften the blow from here on out?
I'm just trying to help my teammates. I see Lane up there. I see a couple more guys up there. I know Kelan's right behind me. So try to help my guys. Maybe try to save my stuff a little bit. Maybe the last 5 laps I can make a little bit of a run at it. But I think if I can get a top 10 out of this, that'd be okay. But I see a couple of cars that don't even have bumpers and stuff in front of me, so that's a little bit optimistic as well. So maybe I can pass a few of those guys, but I think even 5 RPM might even actually hurt. And it was like 40 seconds of optional, so and now there's a good bit of permanent damage still. So we'll see what happens.
All right, Cole. Well, we wish you luck. Hopefully you can get some of the positions, especially through this last portion of the race, and we'll see what you can do out there. Good luck.
Thank you.
Cole Williams out of the booth. He is our in-race reporter and did not really sound too happy. Of course, those incidents have really not helped his case. However, he's still not out of this yet. With 12 laps to go, anything could happen, especially with how close a lot of these drivers have been. It will not be surprising to see if anything progresses from here on out. But we're going to look all the way back to the front of the field, where Parker White will lead us back to the green flag with Aiden Kirker and Dylan Mason right behind to help and to accompany him along the way. And they've been there within that last run or so between that last yellow and between the yellows, 2 yellows ago and the recent yellow, between that group. So we'll see how they develop and how they start to come back up. I think they have the notion to work together for now. Actually, never mind. The 39 of Kirker is going to look to the bottom. He's going to try and get all the way back up. I think he knows that this race is slowly ticking down each lap with just 10 laps to go at the line between Aiden Kirker trying to get up to the 95 of Parker White. And that gap has closed with the package, but it's not going to be easy as Patterson's going to look to the bottom in turn 2. Not sure whether he had enough, but now is that opportunity seized for that 0-2 and the 8 to look to the inside of Aiden Kirker. Parker White still at the front. He's holding that bottom relatively effectively, and he's doing it. And he's able to keep himself there. That was very close. Basin had a touch to the apron. We'll see how he's able. They're checking up, though. Everyone's down. I saw the 51 into the outside wall. No yellow. They're going to be in this large group. Basin will lead them all. Huge, huge hard-dropping moment for the guys up front. Parker White still with the advantage up front, and I think as he saw that happen right behind him and he saw it develop, he probably has a sigh of relief knowing that there's only one car fighting to the outside and he's not getting that much of a run. He's only trying to peek down, but I think he's got to worry at this point. Here comes the 0-2 of Patterson. There's some contact behind. I think I saw the 0-9 of Colton Zimmer and Shane DiMantova getting the contact. But as we get 8 laps to go, Patterson up front. Parker White's going to have to hit the reset button, try something to get back to the inside. They're swerving all over the front straightaway. Three wide, though, behind Colton Zimmer. That's Thomas Lloyd. The 05 of Jesse Martinez. There was the 09 there as well. Colton Zimmer actually falling back through this group. which will allow Aiden Kirker to get the advantage. They were all 3 wide at that point. Luckily, they were all keeping it single file, but we still have a battle up front. Top 3 drivers are all within less than a car length. And who's going to join the party now? Shane DiMantova in the number 20. He's going to look to 4th. They're still blocking each other down the bottom, though. I'm not sure how Basing is keeping it together. On board with Parker White. This is looking from the rear of his race car. You see how close Dylan Basin is. There's Josh Patterson. Basin might swing to the bottom, though. Oh, and it's so close. Going into turn number 1. That is just how close it can get between all of those drivers. Now Shane DiMantova is going to help to the high side. Aiden Kirker is going to look 3 wide. He's got a caution with 5 laps to go. Caution is out. Once again, let's see who might have been involved this time. And it's Thomas Lloyd in the 77 who's involved this time around. Gonna take a replay. See exactly what happened here. And this was just a case between the 2 teammates here. Between those 2. As the yellow flag is out. There's contact off turn 2 between Thomas Lloyd and his teammate Josh Duke. Here's another look. And that's another just situation there up there. Back to Josh Duke, and this is where it was. Contact with the teammate in 77. And they are around. Well, at least the 77 is around. The 32 was able to suffer minimal damage. And that was it. Our contact between all of those drivers. Taking a look down the drivers to pit road. Practically everyone stayed out. Parker White hit a very large juke going into pit road, and I think he might have tapped some drivers to go in, but I think the general consensus is to follow the leader, and they were all able to do it well. Patterson, Basin will be 2nd and 3rd. The 2 Mustangs following that Toyota Camry. Kirker will be in 4th. Colton Zimmer will be to 5th. And there's Lane Stevens, Quentin Warman in the 07. There's Lane Stevens in the 92. He's been relatively quiet all night long, but he's managed himself within this top 10. Cole Williams, who started, I believe, 15th. When we talked to him on that recent yellow involving himself, he's already gained a good amount of spots since then. 8th place, I think, will definitely soften the blow for sure. It'll help him out in the point standings, at least to not lose as many points to 2nd place and his teammate, the 39, Aiden Kirker. Under yellow with 4 laps to go. We're going to take a short moment to take a break, and we'll be right back with more green flag action from the Windy City in the Chicagoland Speedway. You're watching the LWRC NASCAR Cup Series live on the Bueno Racing Network. Coverage of the LWRC NASCAR Cup Series on the KBRN Racing Network is brought to you by iRacing. Join thousands of sim racers across the world. By EO Media. Get your graphic design done today with EO Media. For inquiries, just message EO.media on Instagram. And by Supermix, concrete blocks on demand. Welcome back to the Chicagoland Speedway, where we have just got the 1 to green signal from the pace car. It'll be 3 to go at the line. I believe we have just reached our green-white checker territory for tonight's action here at the Chicagoland Speedway. It has been all tense between the top 3 leaders in Parker White, Dylan Basin, and Josh Patterson. They have been all relatively aggressive, but they have all been able to make it stick. Most of the cautions have resulted from incidents near the rear. Our last caution involving the 77 of Thomas Lloyd with contact with his teammate Josh Duke, who's currently sitting at the moment. Actually, do not see him right now. He's actually sitting 14th right now. So those drivers there, the 77 though, all the way back to 15th from that incident under the green flag, which will cause that yellow. But we are gonna take the green flag here with just 2 laps to go. We have already reached our green-white checker territory. It'll be Parker White, Josh Patterson at the head of this field. Dylan Basin and Aiden Kirker will be into row number 2. And especially we've seen them get up very early, and an early start by Parker White to take back the green flag. Here they come, and it'll be very, very short before those drivers behind Parker White get back up to the race leader. It's not going to take very long due to that high downforce package and the amount of restarts we've seen tonight. Parker White, though, is holding his own at the front. We got a caution now on the back straightaway. Going to take a look at who it might have been, and this time it is involving Jesse Martinez in the 05. He brings out the yellow flag once again here tonight. And that'll re-rack the field and go back to our second attempt at a green-white checkered. And we'll take a replay, see exactly what might have happened. Seen that 05, and it was a huge incident actually between those drivers here. This was coming to the green flag for that 05, and it was all here between a lot of these drivers up front. The 05 getting to the inside. This is turn 1. There's the 77 of Lloyd. Actually, the 71 got loose, involved a couple of the drivers, including that 05. It wasn't just Grand 11 and the 71, I think, got loose here. Going into turn 1, here's an extra look. This is 1 and 2 where it happens. And right there, contact between the 71 and the 51. It goes around right up into the 05. I think Josh Duke might have had a piece of that. And they both go around on the racetrack. So they're currently sitting on pit road right now. That 71, you can see the amount of damage to that race car. All by herself there on the pit road, getting that damage fixed, and it has been a rough night for that 71 machine. Parker White, though, and really every position from this top 5 have not changed since the drop of the green flag. Still Parker White, Patterson, and Basin, Kirker, Quentin Warman, Colton Zimmer there, 5th and 6th. Cole Williams up to 7th. He gained 1 spot on that restart. And 8th, 9th, and 10th, fellow teammate of EO Media Racing of that 42, Lane Stevens. Jaden Lawson will be 9th. Shane DiMantoba, though, fell all the way back to 10th. So he'll be restarting near the tail end of the field, where he really wasn't at the before those yellows before on that longer green flag run. He was within that top 5. And ever since, it's dropped him back. I think he might have some damage on that Toyota Camry. But Parker White will be in command still. And we're going to take another effort at a green-white checkered. Just an explanation about how that goes. So we're going to take the green flag with 2 laps to go. I'm going to go all the way around, and if the leader makes it back to the white flag, any flag will end the race, including the checkered flag, and we'll be crowning a winner at the end of this race, and the race will be considered concluded. However, if we are still with 2 laps to go, if we don't reach the white flag, which you just saw a couple of moments earlier, where the yellow flag comes out before they reach the white flag, and they'll re-rack the field, take another shot at it, take another restart with 2 laps to go, and try to get to the white flag and finish the race. It'll go all the way up to 3 attempts, and once you go past 3 attempts, if they do not get a successful attempt in, caution flag will come out for good, and the race will end under yellow with the field entirely frozen, and the race leader will be crowned the winner for tonight at Chicagoland. Gotta thank everybody watching in the YouTube chat. I know there's just about 14 viewers here tonight, so we appreciate your viewership, and we appreciate your support here through this race. I know it's kind of been tough, and it's probably a little annoying just hearing myself in the booth, only myself, as opposed to maybe Charlie Baier or some of the other people that we have join the booth every now and then on the KBRN Racing Network. But nonetheless, they're going to try to troop through this one all by ourselves, and it has been a phenomenal race and a chaotic one at that here at Chicagoland. And I know this is definitely going to shake up a lot of things in the points and possibly can get a new winner out of this as well, or possibly a second-time winner if Parker White is able to maintain himself up front. A couple of drivers who have already picked up wins this season include, of course, Parker White. Patterson has yet to pick up an LWRC NASCAR Cup Series win. Basin has won, I'd just say 2 or 3 races already in this season. Kirker has won 2. His first came at Sonoma, second came at Dover, the first time on that doubleheader. Colton Zimmer is one of the newer drivers, so he has yet to pick up a victory. A lot of drivers further back here have not picked up their victories yet. Colton Zimmer, Quentin Warman, the Basin Racing cars have yet to do it and capture a checkered flag. Cole Williams has captured 2 already this season, so he's done a great job. Actually, no, he's actually captured 1. It was at ISM. Kind of mixed it up with his win in the Bunch and Lawn Care Series. Lane Stevens also yet to pick up a checkered flag. Neither has Jaden Lawson. Neither has Shane DiMantova. Kelan Belsha also yet, and pretty much every driver further back does not have a win apart from Brady Welleman, who won at Talladega a couple of weeks back in the first half of the season. So we're going to take a restart. Second attempt at a green-white checkered between Parker White and Josh Patterson. Dylan Basin, Aiden Kirker will be row 2. 2 of the Basin Racing cars that'll probably help out Dylan Basin, the team owner, up in the front in row number 2, the 07 and the 09. Both running the same paint scheme and the same car, Colton Zimmer and Quentin Warman. Pace car will head down to the likes of pit road, and Parker White and Josh Patterson will lead them back to the green flag, and we are back under green. We'll see if this attempt at a green-white checkered is successful. Between all the drivers here, it's just a matter of if they're going to keep it clean. Saw Cole Williams almost tag the 09, but he was actually disappointed with that wreck, and he thought he really wasn't going to gain much from these next restarts, but they have helped him out immensely. Now he's up to almost the top 5 as Patterson is around in front of the field. Caution will wave for sure, and Lane Stevens gets involved late. Huge incident involving, I saw Dylan Basin in the group there as well. Aiden Kirker also had a piece of that as well. I see a little bit of damage to that 39, and a caution is out once again here with just 3 laps to go. We're going to take our 3rd attempt at a green-white checkered. Gonna take a replay and see exactly what happened there. It was all Josh Patterson who was involved in that incident. Take a better look here. Oh boy, and see what might have happened with Josh Patterson there. I think he might have had his shot outside of the racetrack. However, I'm gonna try to get that look for you. All right, here's a better look at it now. This is coming into turn number 3. 3 wide with Kirker and the 09. And then at that point, the 02 just gets sent around here. Take a larger look from the aerial shot. And you see right here, the 02 has help from the 39. That 39 on the back straightaway thought there was enough space and just had that gap there. And then Patterson just tried to pinch, and at that point, it just got the quarter panel of that Ford Mustang, and around he went. Lane Stevens was joined late in the party. His engine is toast from that, and the 02 was just limping it all the way back to pit road from that incident. Very, very tough to see one of the drivers all the way up front, especially through the later portions of this race, get involved. Back up to the front of the field, though. Parker White will still be in first. He already led these guys back, and since we really haven't seen anything notable happen, at least not reaching the white flag, it really hasn't allowed any other drivers to get up to the 95 just yet. It has always been just Parker White controlling the field. And you saw how threatened that 95 was of Parker White. You saw how much he had to fight for that race lead, how much he had to earn it, how much he had to work for between those drivers like Dylan Basin, like Josh Patterson, like Aiden Kirker, and of course like some of the other drivers who've had their shot at opportunities to get up to the front of this field. They have had those opportunities, but it's always happened just about 1 or 2 laps after the green flag is signaled and after they get that restart underway. And Parker White usually gets a little bit of a jump, but then the field always seems to come back with the high downforce package and the draft. So with these yellows coming out so early, it really hasn't allowed for opportunity for any drivers to have a shot at Parker White, or at least try to get a pass down to Parker White. They've yet to catch up to him since he gets that jump on the restart, and it's given him so much space to the point where on those very short runs, he has that space to his advantage, and then if a yellow comes out, it's just all Parker White from there. He's able to retain the lead, and as soon as the field is frozen, he has that shot, and he's able to stay up front and possibly capture a win. And that'll be his second win of the LWRC NASCAR Cup Series. First win came at 1.5 miles at Charlotte Motor Speedway. He's looking for his second on his momentous debut races here in the LWRC NASCAR Cup Series. And what a talent that 95 is. Already seen him in the iRacing Bunch Lawn Care Series. How efficient he's been. Was so close to the championship at Phoenix before incident with Aaron Mulrooney sent him around, and he finished 5th. He was not able to capture the championship there, but he really showed and stayed true to the word consistency. Really was a pure example of that throughout that season. And of course, his consistent driving style stays into this season, and he's already started this season for him off with a bang. Basin, though, looking for his 3rd win, and Basin a little more experienced in this field, at least within this series. He's had a couple of appearances, more than Parker White has for sure, since he's joined a little bit earlier, and he's had a bunch of races down to his belt. He's won at numerous tracks. His win at Texas came at 1.5 miles. His win at Bristol was a short track, but very, very versatile racer in Dylan Basin. And between these two, Parker White and Dylan Basin, both very young drivers on the iRacing service, and they have shown their talent in every league that we watch them in. So these two will definitely be aggressive at the front of this field. Going to try to take a win. I'm expecting to see something magnificent come out of that. Aiden Kirker, one of the more experienced drivers. See, that's why he's second in points. He's pretty much attended every race in this season so far, and he's done a phenomenal job. He's already won 2 races, and he's yet to win one at 1.5 miles. He's only won one at a road course and a short track. He won it at Sonoma in the road course. He won the short track at Dover in the Monster Mile, but he's yet to win one on a 1.5 miler, so it'll be interesting. He's going to have his teammate of Cole Williams right behind, and fellow friend and colleague Shane DiMantova right there onto row 3 on the inside. But enough chit-chatting about the drivers up front. We'll see what they can do within these final laps and see if we're able to complete this attempt. Pace car will go to the safety of pit road. Parker White will step on the gas pedal. We are back to the green flag. We'll see if this stays through. Clean through 1 and 2 for Parker White and the rest of the field. It wasn't as chaotic as it was in the last couple of restarts, so they'll go into 3 and 4. Most likely take the white flag this time by, but here comes the time allotted for Dylan Basin to try to make something to the inside. He peeked his nose, but it was going to the grass, so it was not enough as we reached the white flag. 1 more lap to go here at the Windy City. Aiden Kirker is going to help Dylan Basin all the way down to the apron. They're going to go under the white line. Parker White still holding strong to the bottom. They're going to go into 3 and 4 for the final time. Parker White has a head of steam. Basin's into the outside wall. 1 more shot, but it's not going to be enough. Parker White is a 2-time winner in the LWRC NASCAR Cup Series. They're wrecking at the start-finish line, but Parker White holds on to the calamity and wins here at Chicagoland Speedway. What a drive, what an effort, and what a defensive play all the way to the end of that race. Congratulations to Parker White. Phenomenal finish there. They're still wrecking all the way to the back. It's huge Dylan Basin upside down into 3 and 4. Kirker will finish in 2nd. Basin will come home 3rd. As you see him upside down now. Already went to the outside wall, but Cole Williams will come home 7th after feeling a little bit dejected after those incidents, but he was able to pick it up from there as Parker White will celebrate and burn it down on the front straightaway. Congratulations to that 95. What an effort for him tonight. Going to take a look at your race results and see exactly where everyone finished at the end of tonight's event. Starting with Parker White, of course, your race winner. A second-time win for him in this season. What a phenomenal start it has been for him in this season just to enter the series and dominate the way he has. What a job from him. Aiden Kirker for EO Media Racing will come home second, and a bravo effort, an impressive effort for that 39, fighting all race long and really never got damage from it. Dylan Basin will come home third. Shane DiMantello will come back to the top 5. Quentin Warman will finish in 6th. Cole Williams, actually no, in 5th. Colin Zimmer will finish 6th. Cole Williams will come home 7th. Josh Duke comes home 8th. Kelan Belsha comes home at 9th. Jaden Lawson will round out this top 10. And then back to 11th and the rest of this field. Thomas Lloyd finishes 11th after going around. Brady Weileman finishes 12th. Jesse Martinez 13th. Josh Patterson 14th after that incident. He finishes 2 laps down. Lane Stevens 15th. Brianna Lavin 16th. James Youngerman 17th. Richard Mendonça finishes in 18th. 49 laps down. So those are your race results for everyone here. And what a race here for that 59 of Parker White. We're going to take a quick break. As soon as we come back, we'll have all the coverage for you here on the LWRC NASCAR Cup Series. Stay with us. We got more coming next. Welcome back to the LWRC NASCAR Cup Series from the Chicagoland Speedway, where Parker White has gotten it done after 60 laps of racing. And it starts our post-race coverage on the KBRN Racing Network, provided by SDC. We'll start our post-race coverage, of course, with the interviews, and first with the driver in victory lane. And we're probably going to start with Parker White, of course, and we're going to bring him in. See exactly what his thoughts are, taking his second win of the season. And Parker, first of all, welcome to the KBRN Racing Network booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Parker, congratulations on your second win of the season. I know it was not easy for you or really any other driver to contend for that lead or at least stay with it. It seems as though every part of this race we saw a battle for the lead happening, 3 wide, 2 wide, a driver swerving all over the lanes, blocking like you did there at the end to try to hold on to the race lead. Just tell us what that experience was like for you on those short runs with this high downforce package.
Wow, all I have to say is wow. There's like so many different parts of that race that are just so chaotic. Like I can't even remember what happened like past that final restart because I was just focused on holding the lead and keeping Dylan Basin behind me. And then as soon as we got the white, I was like, well, I need to block. So then going down the back, I went all the way down to the infield grass, and then I saw Aiden Kirker get on his inside. Then going into 3, they made contact. I was like, well, looks like I got this race.
and it was really a fight between you and yourself, of course, Dylan Basin, Aiden Kirker, Josh Patterson at the end. But I want to talk about at least how this race went in its entirety. There really wasn't any green flag stops down the way. There was a lot of yellows to splice in. Were you really preferring the car over the long run, or you think the short runs were really kind of hectic for you? What was your thoughts in each of the types of runs that we saw tonight?
Well, there was like one run through the middle of the race that I thought we were gonna have a long run, but then we got a caution. So I was just trying to ride, and then we obviously got that caution. So then all the short runs, it was just basically about staying up front because there would always be a wreck like mid pack. So staying up front, I did that very well. So I'm pretty sure that's what got us this race.
It was a very momentous run for you and your 59 team, and of course, you and your team provided a phenomenal race up front. It was always great to watch up at the booth on the edge of my seat, always anticipating what was going to happen. But Parker, before we let you go into victory lane to celebrate your victory, you got anybody or any teams or any drivers or pretty much anyone else you'd just like to shout out for making tonight's effort happen?
Yeah, of course. I'd like to thank my team, Regasso Sport. They have the fastest cars out there. My teammate, Brady Welleman. I know that some people are upset with him, but I feel like that's just racing. And of course, KBRN. Awesome job broadcasting every single race.
Well, we thank you for your support, and of course, we thank you for taking the time to talk with us, Parker. Congratulations on your win. Go celebrate it. I know Chicago's a lot of city where you can do a lot of things, so we wish you well wishes, and of course, congratulations on your victory tonight.
All right, thank you.
Parker White out of the booth. He is your winner tonight here at Chicagoland Speedway. We're going to take a look back to second place, where you look all the way back to Aiden Kirker, who comes home in P number 2 for Eel Media Racing. What a drive for them and that team. We're going to bring him in. And Aiden, welcome to the KBRN Racing Network booth. You got a copy with us?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, Aiden. Well, really tough to say that anything was guaranteed at a track like this, especially with the high downforce package, with the short runs that you saw throughout this entire race. First of all, just run down on how your race was, how the car really felt through those runs, and how it was really fighting with those guys 3 wide almost every time you're going into each corner.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun today. Definitely the racing the past couple of weeks have picked up in this league, which is good to see. I was just trying to kind of be mix of aggressive and patient at the same time. But first off, I want to say I'm sorry to Josh Patterson at the end. I got a little too aggressive, put it 3 wide. The car below him, I don't know who it was, kind of forced me up into him. I never want to dump a guy like that, and I feel bad about that. But all in all, it was a really fun race. Playoffs closing in, definitely going to get ramped up. I think more people are going to show up. Racing's going to continue to be great. But, yeah.
And you mentioned the second half of the season. Of course, it was something I mentioned at the top of the broadcast. How is your approach going into the second half of the season, knowing you're second in points right now and your team is doing a well of a job handling the point standings? Just tell us what your approach is now going into the second half of the season as opposed to what it was in this first half before that All-Star break.
Not really going to change my approach to the races as much, I think, or that much. I think that what we've done this year, Cole and I we've done pretty good, I'd say. Obviously 1 and 2 on the points. We have 2 wins each, and first round definitely will be good for me as far as the tracks go. But I think just continuing to work with Cole, obviously can't do that all season because we might both get down to the finale and then we can't really help each other win at that point. But I think that the approach pretty much stays the same.
Well, Aiden, for sure, a second place finish is going to go to your points significantly for you and your team, especially going into the next couple races at Indy next week. Before we let you go and let you celebrate your second place effort, you got any team sponsors or really anyone you just like to thank for making tonight's effort possible?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody at Eel Media Racing. It's first race with the team, and I think that our first race with the team for this league, and I think that I'm really looking forward to getting some wins for them. And I also want to give a huge shout out to our new sponsor for Eel Media Racing, Pella Gaming. Their website will be opening up on October 1st, and definitely think you guys should check that out. Hopefully you can see their colors flying on the car pretty soon, and hopefully get them in victory lane.
Well, you almost made it to victory lane. You see the Appella Gaming on your quarter panel there, and of course a beautiful Chevrolet Camaro for tonight. But Aiden, thank you for joining us, and thank you for taking the time to talk with us. We wish you luck going into the next couple of weeks, and especially through the rest of the season. I know you and your team are really on a momentous run, and I'm sure you guys are going to keep that up through the rest of the season.
All right, thanks. Have a good one.
Aiden Kirker comes home in P number 2 tonight. Gonna look over to P number 3, where Dylan Basin finishes in 3rd, but unfortunately he is not in any of the voice chats. So we're gonna look back to 4th, where the 20 of Shane Diamantova is, and what a race he had. A really up and down race for him. We're gonna bring him into the booth, see his thoughts on tonight's effort. And first of all, Shane, welcome to the KBRN booth. You got a copy with us?
Yep, I got you, Kenneth.
All right, Shane. Well, you finished P4 on a really roller coaster night for you and your 20 team in the SPG Toyota Camry. You guys were up there to the top 5, especially through that early run. I saw you battling with Josh Patterson, of course, Dylan Basin, Kirker, and Parker White. You were kind of on the outside looking in, just kind of watching those drivers there. And then you go to the back of the field. You have that incident there with Cole Williams, and you pounce all the way back to 4th. Just first of all, give us a glimpse of what it was like behind that steering wheel on those final laps in that green-white checkered attempt.
Oh, it was crazy. I mean, it was just restart after restart, obviously. And I mean, we were just gaining position slowly. And I was kind of hoping, honestly, to base it off of something is what Blaze McKinney kind of did in the Bundren race. I think that was also at Chicagoland, where he ran like back in 10th or something on the restart and came back and won. And so I pitted from 4th because I knew I probably wasn't able to stay up there with older tires. And I mean, I thought I could add a top 3, just time ran out too soon, and then Dylan Basin just got into the wall and completely blocked me all the way down the track. And then his teammate behind me absolutely tried to dump me. So yeah, I mean, just Basin Racing was just absolute idiots tonight.
And surely that frustration showing out. I know there was a lot of things you really had to work around through that final segment, but this is one of your first starts coming back into the series after a little bit of an absence. I remember seeing you, of course, in a couple of these races, including Martinsville and a couple of the other races through the season. You come back here at a mile and a half. Is there a plan to continue running in the LWRC NASCAR Cup Series? Is there somewhat of an approach to go into the series and start to make more attempts at starts and try to make more runs here? Or you think maybe this will probably be just a one-and-done effort and take another absence?
No, I mean, I feel like I definitely could run more in here. It's just depending if I'm free or not. But I mean, I like the group of guys mostly, except for, like I said, Basin Racing. But they're pretty clean. They're fun to race against. And it's, yeah, I mean, it's a good league. I like it. It's fun.
All right, Shane. Well, before we let you go on a 4th place and a top 5 effort, is there any sponsors, any teams, or pretty much anyone you just like to shout out for making tonight's effort happen?
Yeah, definitely. SPG Esports, the performance group. DJ Lion, Days Gone By Venture Apparel, KBRN, you, Kenneth, for doing all this, Ill Media. And yeah, I mean, shout out to Appella Gaming too. I know they don't sponsor me, but they're definitely getting into this, and they seem like a really good group, so shout out to them too.
All right, Shane. Well, congratulations on a top 5 and a 4th place finish here at Chicagoland. We hope to see you through the rest of the season. You've put on some great performances, so we hope to see you through the rest of the season, and we wish you the best of luck.
Yep, thank you, Kenneth.
Shane Diamantova out of the booth. He comes home 4th. Unfortunately, not able to get Dylan Basin in for an interview tonight, but nonetheless, hopefully his response, or at least his attitude, will still be relatively positive, I guess I would say, especially coming to that final segment. He finishes 3rd anyway, so a great effort for him. He put a race on all night long, and it was always amazing to see him battling with the drivers up front. I think that was possibly one of the best things we've seen all night long. Well, this pretty much concludes the rest of the broadcast here for the LWRC NASCAR Cup Series. Really not much to take away. I don't have anyone down in the booth, so I don't really have anyone to really talk about in terms of what they anticipate or what they are thinking, especially going into the next race. However, we will still cover more racing here on the KBRN Racing Network for the LWRC NASCAR Cup Series, and most notably, it will be at Indianapolis next week. It'll take over the slot of the Bunch and Lawn Care Series, the Monday slot, so the LWRC will come back to Mondays, and it'll continue to happen, and we'll be having more coverage for you there and through the rest of the season all the way to the championship event. So we appreciate and thank each and every one of you for tuning into the podcast tonight. You guys put on the support, and it was awesome seeing everyone in the chat and everyone really immersed in this race as much as I was up here in the booth. Congratulations to Parker White, second win of the season here at Chicagoland Speedway. So for all of us here and for all the drivers and team members at the LWRC NASCAR Cup Series, for Jaden Lawson for putting the league together, and for all of us at KBRN, for our members that are not here right now tonight, of course, Charlie Baier, Kenneth Bueno on hand, saying good night from Chicagoland and the Windy City. We'll see you next week at one of the crown jewels of racing in Indianapolis.
We are back at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, where the field is rolling out for the start of today's 400-lap race on this .625-mile racetrack. And just as the field comes all around turn number 4, the sunshine peeks through, helping warm things here. Bill Elliott leads him down. Benny Parsons on the outside. The green flag flies, and the first Union 400 Winston Cup race from North Wilkesboro is underway. Everybody nicely through turns number 1 and 2 as Bill Elliott has the lead, and Dale Earnhardt has jumped into second position, followed by Benny Parsons and Bobby Allison. Oh, here we go. It's just about to go away. They both coming out of turn 4. Earnhardt gets the lead. We had just heard from our spotters that Neil Bynum. Dale Earnhardt is on his last lap. This will be his 24th career win. Dale Earnhardt wins